What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where I love to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love to talk about, and that's movies, video games, comic books, TV shows. And right now, let's talk about it. Let's talk about The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 5. But before I get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel and leave a comment down below. The reason that I do this is so I can have conversations with people about the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love. So leave a comment and I will respond, and we'll have ourselves a conversation about The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 5, titled The Jedi. And we all knew it was coming when we saw two things. When we saw Dave Filoni was directing, and when we saw that the title of the episode was The Jedi, we knew who it was going to be. And yes, it was Asohka Tano, was finally in live action, was finally in The Mandalorian. And what did I think of it? What did I think of Ahsoka finally being live action? I loved it. I loved it. I prefer this version of Ahsoka over her animated version all day long. I was not a fan of Ahsoka in Clone Wars. I just wasn't. And my problem with Ahsoka in the Clone Wars was always, she's such an important part of Anakin's life. How come her name was never even dropped in the movies? I always had a problem with that. I always had a problem with going back and creating an apprentice for Anakin. I did. I always had a problem with that. And that's one of the reasons why Clone Wars never resonated with me like it resonated with a lot of Star Wars fans, because I could never get around the fact that, where was she when the Jedi Temple was attacked? Why wasn't she helping Obi-Wan confront Anakin? How come this stuff was not talked about? Because she's such an important character. That being said, even though I've always had a bit of a problem with the character of Ahsoka, she was portrayed wonderfully in this episode. Just wonderfully. Rosario Dawson just knocked it out of the park. The look, the makeup, the costume, everything was perfect. And I know that when Jon Favreau came up with the idea for The Mandalorian, it was always going to be this Western set in the Star Wars universe, kind of away from the Jedi, away from the lightsabers, a completely different story. And I remember saying last year during Season 1, eventually there's going to be a Jedi. It's Star Wars. Eventually there's going to be Jedi. And here we are. It took, 13 episodes? But now we have Jedi. And it was just a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Now, one thing that we've seen this season is we've seen very similar structure in every episode. In every episode, the Mandalorian meets somebody. He wants something from that person. That person wants something from the Mandalorian. They have their adventure together, and then the Mandalorian gets what he needs and he moves on. Every single episode that's happened. Every single one. So, in this episode, he wanted to hand the child off to Ahsoka. And by the way, we have a name for the child now. And the child's name is Grogu. I like it. I mean, it's not what I would have thought. But honestly, I don't know that any name at this point would have been sufficient. I just don't think any name they could have come up with, we would have been like, oh, I don't know if I like that. But Grogu, if you really think about it, phonetically, it's a lot like Yoda. You've got 2 syllables, very simple, very short. And yeah, the more I thought about it, the more I liked the idea of the kid being called Grogu. But we also learn more about the relationship between Grogu and the Mandalorian. in this episode. We learn that Grogu has developed a very tight relationship and a very tight attachment to the Mandalorian. And Ahsoka becomes very concerned with taking him and training him, because she has seen what taking somebody with great power from loved ones to train as Jedi. She's seen what kind of effect that can have on somebody. She saw it firsthand with Anakin. And I do believe that even though she didn't name drop Anakin, even though she didn't name drop Vader, I do believe wholeheartedly that that's who she was talking about. She did not want to create a dark Jedi out of the child. And she felt that the child's fate, the child's opportunity now of having the best fate possible would be to stay with Din. And now he's off to the next spot. But before he's off to the next spot, he has to help Ahsoka take down an enemy combatant who has taken refuge on this planet. And there's two primary antagonists in this group, and I don't remember their names. Let me see if I can look them up real fast. If I can't find them here in a second, we'll just skip the names. You had a gunslinger type who worked for the bad guy, and you had the bad guy herself, who was hiding the secret that Ahsoka wanted. Let's see if I can find the name really easily. And the gunslinger type, who ended up fighting the Mandalorian at the end, who ended up fighting Din at the end, I believe his name was Lang, right? Yep, right there, Lang. He was played by Michael Biehn. How cool is that? How cool is it to have Michael Biehn in the Star Wars universe? You've got Michael Biehn now. He's been in Star Wars. He's been in Alien. He's been in Terminator. He's been in Grindhouse. I mean, this is a guy who just goes from nerd location to nerd location, and it's wonderful. I loved having Michael Biehn in it as Lang. And then you had Morgan Elsbeth. And Morgan Elsbeth is the person that Ahsoka really wanted the information from. And she's got this cool spear made of Beskar, which we learned that Beskar and lightsabers, lightsabers can't cut through Beskar. But there's this really phenomenal moment. Let's just call it what it is. There's a duel at the end of the episode between Ahsoka and Morgan. It wasn't a lightsaber duel, but it was fun. It was the Mandalorian's version of a lightsaber duel. It was great. So, and then after the fight, we get a name drop that made my jaw drop. We get a name drop that made my jaw drop. We learn what Ahsoka's whole purpose is, what she was looking for, and when the name is said, I was like, "What?" That was what I did. I yelled, "What?" And it definitely, in my opinion, this sets up the Ahsoka live action series for Disney Plus. I believe wholeheartedly we're going to get the series. I don't think it's been greenlit yet, but it's been heavily rumored online, and I do believe we're going to get the Ahsoka series, and I do believe that the series is going to be her chasing the dude that she was chasing in this episode. The dude that was name dropped. You know who I'm talking about. I think this is kind of like a backdoor pilot to the Ahsoka series. We also got Yoda name drop this episode, and that was nice. But this episode had a lot of fan service in it, and it didn't go too far. But this is probably about as far as I'd want the Mandalorian to take it. I still want the Mandalorian to feel like he's off in his own corner of the Star Wars universe, and he's been inching more and more and more towards kind of that main storyline. So we'll see where they go next. There's 3 episodes left, and we still haven't seen Boba Fett outside of the little cameo So I gotta believe we're still gonna see him this season, right? I would think so. But we are going to be taking Baby Yoda now. The Mando's gonna be taking Baby Yoda or Grogu to a Jedi temple on another planet, where they're going to call out to the Force and see if a Jedi answers. There's a lot of theories going around the internet on who this might be. Is Ezra going to show up? Is Cal going to show up from the video game? Is is Luke Skywalker going to show up? I don't think it'll be Luke. We would have known if Luke was filming an episode of The Mandalorian. If Mark Hamill was, we would know. But is Obi-Wan going to show up as a Force ghost? We know for a fact that Ewan McGregor has spent time on set, so he could have potentially filmed an episode. I'm going to give another theory. I'm on the Force ghost train, like some people are with Obi-Wan, but I don't think it's going to be Obi-Wan. I do not think it's going to be Obi-Wan show up. I think they're going to put Yoda on that pedestal, they're going to call out to the Force, and I think we're going to see Force ghost Yoda show up. I really do. I'm calling it right here, right now. It's going to be Force Ghost Yoda. I don't think it's going to be Ezra. I don't think it's going to be Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker. I don't think it's going to be Cal, although Cal would be cool. I think we're going to see Force Ghost Yoda. And they're going to get some more exposition from him. Some background about Grogu. And we're going to get some more exposition that's going to take them to the next step of their journey. That's just kind of what I think. We'll see if I'm right. Probably not. But you watch. I'm going to be right. But probably not. Guys, I really like this episode. I thought Dave Filoni did a great job directing it. Probably not my favorite episode of the season, but it's right up there. It's probably top 3. Just a really well done episode. It was nice seeing Jedi back, even if it was Ahsoka, who's not my favorite character. But it was still great seeing Rosario Dawson's portrayal of Ahsoka. So good episode, had a lot of fun. 3 more episodes left. Can't wait to see where they go. With it, and I'm really hoping that we get to see a confrontation between Mando and Moff Gideon again before the end of the season. But thought it was great. Want to know what you think about The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 5? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's have a conversation about it. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, and until next time, we'll see you guys later.